I'm Hannah Beets, and I'm a third grade teacher at Chandler Elementary. But I also have an after-school program to do CrossFit and movement to teach them to work hard. There were a lot of things leading up to it, a lot of shut doors, a lot of things I tried. I knew I wanted to work with children of low economic families, and I tried several things, and a lot of things hadn't worked. And I knew maybe in the next 5 years I wanted to eventually have a gym for kids, and the warehouse that I'd kind of thought off and on would be a great warehouse just dropped into my lap that it would open. So it was kind of like God giving the nudge of, okay, well, instead of waiting 5 years, now's the time to go ahead and give it a try. I do CrossFit and parkour, and I train personally so that I compete to inspire the kids. And I was doing it to research for a movie, which is one of the closed doors that happened, but it was a movie about mentoring youth. And so I got into parkour to research so I could put it in the movie. And then I fell in love with parkour, and then the movie fell apart. So God knew what he was doing. It kind of came about after college. I used to just go to the gym just because, and I got really annoyed at people who did CrossFit. And then I started doing CrossFit as a way. I originally was trying to learn how to break dance. And so I was like, well, I need to be fitter. And then I realized I have no rhythm. So breakdancing fell away. And then I got into parkour for the movie. And then the movie fell away. And then just all the opportunities to teach kids with it. And then I feel like as a teacher and coach, if I can go and do things like compete in CrossFit Games, and I've applied for American Ninja Warrior. Hopefully one year maybe I'll get on. If I can do things like that, it makes it more of, instead of like, oh, you should work hard, it's like, oh, you should work hard like this. And I eventually want to get into presentations and use past competitions to help give a reason why kids would want to listen to you, because there's so many things kids can listen to. So if you were on American Ninja Warrior or you competed at the CrossFit Games, it's like, oh, okay, now I'll actually listen. I'm trying to get into a place at the school system where I can still be in the school system, but also have a good training schedule. So it's more like building the platform. And while I'm young and fresh as an athlete, I've got to do those, because once I hit a certain age, it's not time to go back and do them. It's time to focus on other things. And I don't have a family, so I can wake up and go train at odd hours of the night. When I opened the gym, that I had randomly run into the business manager of the buildings, and I was just casually asking him about the warehouse, thinking, 5 years, that would be nice to know how much it costs. And he said, oh, it's open right now, I'll take you over right now. And it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, because I was coaching a CrossFit class. And so it was, and I was like, well, I wasn't expecting that, but sure, I'll go see it. And then it just fell into place. So it's been neat to see God every step of the way. Getting this teaching job, I got it 2 years ago. And I had tried to move up north toward New York to pursue modeling and working with kids up closer towards New York City. And then that had fallen apart, and it was in August. I still didn't have a job. And I came back to Texas. It was kind of like everything had messed up. I mean, I had packed up my car and had moved. And so I came back to Texas, and within like 40 hours, I had this job. They had called me up. They'd called me in the summer, and then I had said I was in Pennsylvania, so I wasn't interested. And then they called me up. They had an opening, and I went in for the interview and got the job before I'd even left. So it's neat to look back, even though there's a lot of unknowns as to what's going to happen next year with the station and how that entails with work. It's neat to look back and see God put me here. And then the station is like 3 minutes away from my work, so I can follow the bus and get there when the kids get there. Whereas if I worked anywhere else, I probably couldn't do the station just because of hours and schedules. Well, I got Teacher of the Month award, so that was nice. Just the encouragement that even though my focus is very split, it still was. I was still at least maintaining in the classroom, which is good, which is nice, because it gets a little crazy to be split. It's called the Ignition Station, and the CrossFit is Live on Purpose CrossFit, but we run it through the Ignition Station as the name. It opened up in November. We had our first round of classes this year, 2017. Right now, I'm using my teacher's salary to fund about half of it, but hopefully we'll get nonprofit soon, and then it'll come out from grants and things. Well, at first, people don't really get the concept of it, and I try to put up videos and on Facebook and things, because people it's a weird concept that we're using an after-school movement program, but it's an outreach program, but we're not outright Christian. We are, but it's not like in the name or something. But just the movement and the opportunity. I really like the opportunity for kids to work hard. There's a few different facets. One is we do hard things like Olympic lifting, which is the snatch and the clean and jerk, and that's very technical. So the kids are critically thinking, and so that's preparing them for academics, but they don't really think it as it in, oh my goodness, I'm having a hard challenge. It's like, oh, let me do this lift. But they're critically thinking, their neurons are firing, so it's perfect for academics. And just the idea that we work hard, it's good, we like to hurt because that's when we're stronger. So all that wraps into the character lesson of, okay, we should do what's right and we should pursue excellence. And then hopefully, and it's nice at the station because 2 days a week we have like a Bible story or something about friendship to work into, well, how do you do that? Ultimately, it's through Christ. So it's more of like a sideways to come into it. We don't really, it's kind of coming in the back door. We do it with relationship and then cool movement. And then that opens up the door to, okay, let's talk about God now. Or how do you pursue excellence? How do you keep going when it's hard? So it's more of an authentic instead of trying to say, now we do come out and have a Bible lesson on Tuesdays, which is great because that opens up questions once we have that relationship. They have crazy questions, which is awesome that they're thinking. But it's kind of like it establishes the way to share. And it's been neat to see how God's worked it out because we couldn't have planned it out. I want people who aren't Christians to feel comfortable with Ignition Station. So I would want them to come and feel like this is a quality movement opportunity. And then as just an add-on, oh, well, they kind of have some Christian values, but they have solid quality movement. I would rather be known as a movement program that helps kids. But the reason that we can help them is because we know Christ and He's the one working. A lot of the professors have a good mindset if they're doing it for Christ, or you would want to see it from lenses of a Christian. And so I think that is just a mindset that you can't teach, but you have to put into every situation, and it's always different. So I think that was helpful, that was valued, a culture of it being valued. I would consider them both a calling. I knew several years ago that I wanted to go on the mission field, but I wanted the mission field to be in America. And so anything that we're doing should be our mission field. Like, it's great to support people, but like my school district has 70% low economic kids. And so whereas previously I thought maybe I'd go to LA to do a gym for kids, or I'd go to New York City or Dallas. And then this year it really hit me that we have kids hurting right here. And so I kind of decided, well, it's time to just kind of focus in at Kilgore. I mean, you can segment your life, but then you kind of limit your opportunities to share Christ.
Thanks for listening. For more resources to help you take your faith to work, visit our website at www.centerforfaithandwork.com.